Perfect. Okay, so in our presentation or in our session today, we will draw on the fact that we all have known people who have made us, happy, excited. We love to be around them. And we've also met people or worked with people, lived with people sometimes that have made us feel bad about ourselves, right? And so we are really trying to focus on drawing upon the strength that we can really get to know how to communicate effectively with other people, and it can improve the outcomes not only in our own work but also in our own personal lives. Learning how to communicate will improve your personal relationships, will improve your professional career, will improve even your general experience that you will have in college. And we are almost midway through the semester, and we've done so many activities with people, some of them who we just met for the very first time, right? And so just learning to communicate will really improve the outcome and how you experience college life and also your professional life. So, what are some of these nonverbal communication skills, right? So, anybody have an idea what nonverbal communication skills are? I think the picture is telling we can have some ideas of what that looks like. What are nonverbal communication skills?
I think just like body language, how you um, present yourself around other people.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Body language. Anybody else?
I'd say it's like being able to be a good listener and also knowing how to like contact and like talk to people outside of like verbally. It's like knowing how to write a good email that's like professional or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Adam?
Um, like they said, just body language, having you know, just I think yeah, it's just the body language type, just you know, good posture and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
being able to write that email.
Okay. So when we talk about nonverbal communication, we are really talking about when we are communicating, it's those things that we don't say, right? The things that we don't say are what are referred to as nonverbal communication. So, like everybody has said, we have body language, right? Sometimes some people might be saying something, right, verbally, but they are communicating something else. You can be communicating or saying, I am very happy, and you are crying. Nobody will believe you, right? And so the nonverbal communication is really those things that you say without saying anything. Okay. So the things that you say without saying anything. And in an example that I think is it Eric has mentioned, you are able to really discern the intentions people have. You're able to discern um, if somebody is happy, somebody is pissed off with you, if somebody is impressed with you. For example, you go to a job interview, right? You're sitting down in a job interview with someone and they're asking you questions, right? You find that people are watching pretty much things that you're not really saying. You might be saying, I have 10 years of experience, but maybe your facial expressions are saying something else, right? You go to somebody's office and the way you position your hands, how are you, the facial expressions that you're making on your face also very much contribute to what you're saying to people. It can either convince them, persuade them that what you're saying is true, or is authentic, or it can actually get them to not believe you, right? So, as a manager, it is very, very important to learn how to effectively communicate with people even before you say something, right? As a manager, people are watching, right, what you're doing even before you say it. You might be saying, oh, in this particular workplace, we value um, our employees' time, we value our employees' growth, we value this and this. This is our work culture. But the way you treat them, right, by the things that you're not saying, will actually really solidify the level to which they believe what you say. So it's very, very important to hone in your nonverbal skills, right? Maintaining eye contact. That's also another example of nonverbal skills. The tone and pitch of our voice is very, very important because that will communicate to people. There's a way in which you talk when you're upset. There's a way in which you talk when you're excited. There's a way in which you talk when you are afraid. There's a way in which you talk when you are sad. So the tone and the pitch of your voice is very, very important because you might be saying something to somebody, and the tone of your voice, you might be saying something respectful, but then you are high toned, right? So the tone and pitch of your voice is very important. And also, when it comes to the tone and pitch of your voice, this changes significantly different depending on various geographical and cultural dispensations or contexts, right? In, for example, here in the US, we are more sort of high pitched. We talk faster. When I first came to the US, and my husband would talk to me, I would like tell him, why are you screaming at me? He wasn't screaming. That's just how he talks. He talks fast. He talks high pitched. He's high energy, and I come from a cultural context that's not really like that, especially for women. Women are more soft spoken. They are more, low pitched when they are talking. They don't shout when they are talking. For us, it's more of like rude if somebody talks to you and they're talking to you on a high, pitched, I mean, depending on the context, right? So understanding the environment in which you are in and studying what is acceptable in that particular context. You might go to Japan, the way their tone or their pitch of their voices when they're communicating is different with the way here we communicate in the US, right? So all those play into non-verbal communication skills that you need to learn. And most importantly, be just a student of life, right? Once you are connecting with people for the first time, get to know them. And once you know them, right, you understand the context in which they are communicating certain things, because it's easy to draw conclusions based on what somebody is not saying, because you have your own way in which you communicate. So part of really being a great communicator is understanding the context in which you're communicating. Who are you talking to? Studying your audience, right? For example, if you have a public speaking event, you have to know what your audience is interested in, right? How do they absorb information? How do they understanding? So that is very, very important for you to understand when we are talking about nonverbal communication. Also, we've talked about emails. We've talked about written communication. So that's also another very interesting aspect of nonverbal communication. For example, um, I one of my very, very first jobs that I had, um, I have a not very good handwriting, and so sometimes I got so used to writing in caps. Right, I would write my name in caps so that people were able to read, because I had people complain like we're not able to um, understand what you are saying. Sorry, like we're not able to read what you have written. So I developed this very bad habit of writing in caps. And so one of my very first jobs, um, I wrote an email. I wasn't it wasn't handwritten, of course, but I sent out an email, and I think one of the words was in caps because I wanted to emphasize. And I learned very in a very harsh way that writing emails in caps means that you're screaming at somebody. And so understanding email etiquette is very important, because how you're writing your emails, or those exclamation marks that you're adding in your emails, conveying to somebody that either you are upset with them or you are shouting at them, even without you having to speak. So that's how important it is to understand non-verbal communication, making sure that your spoken message aligns with what your body is saying, what your facial expressions are saying, what your tonality is saying is very, very important. Okay. So there's a question on the screen. While nonverbal communication skills refer to the messages we send with our voice. Okay. I can't really read. Okay, minimize that. Let's see here. There we go. What does verbal communication skills refer to? Since now we have an understanding of what nonverbal communication skills are, what is verbal communication? Is it A, spoken or written communication attuned to the needs of others? Is it B, the tone and the pitch of our voice? Is it C, the clarity and conciseness of our spoken messages? So you can just drop your responses in the chat. Okay, so people are saying the clarity and the conciseness of our spoken messages. Absolutely. So that is really what verbal communication is, the ability to speak with clarity and being concise, right? Most of the times we have a habit of running our words, right? Instead of getting straight to the point, we are running our words. And so we want to make sure that there's clarity in the way we talk, and that people are able to understand what we are saying. And in understanding what people are saying as you speak, also is having good listening skills, right? So, what are these good listening skills? Have you ever had a situation where you are talking to somebody and you can tell they're not even listening? Could be your mom, could be your parents, your friends, at work, at school. You could tell that this person doesn't care what you're saying. They are just focused on they want you to just stop talking so that they can respond to what you're saying. Anybody ever had that particular situation? Drop your response in the chat. And if you've ever had that particular situation happen to you, what are some of the things that you saw that made you think that the person was not listening? Sitlal.
I think that it's really important that try to understand like the person when they are talking to you, or
Mhm.
they are like saying the things important. And always, like most of the time, like persons don't want like, oh, you are doing this wrong. Sometimes they want to listen, like, they want that you listen the things that they want to say. So it's really important that try to understand the other people.
Mhm. Thank you for that. Anybody who has ever had an experience where they felt like they were trying to say something and somebody was not listening to them? What was that person doing? I want to kind of hear a description of what was happening in that particular conversation. What was this person actually doing that made you believe that they were not listening? Jacob.
I mean, like maybe they would be like looking away from me, or like
Mhm.
not making eye contact or something like that, and just it wouldn't seem like they're actually paying attention to what I'm saying.
Absolutely. So they're not looking at you. They're they seem distracted, right? Those are some of the telltale signs that this person is not actually listening. Yeah, Luke.
I would say if they had like they try to like end the conversation as fast as they could.
Mm, they tried to interrupt and end the conversation as fast as they could. Absolutely. Anybody else?
Sometimes they'll just like be looking at their phone. And,
Yeah, they'll be just looking at the phone. I just had a very interesting encounter, um, and because I've also been very, very intentional about learning and being a better listener, especially with my husband here. And he called me out on the phone because, like, oh, you were not even listening. He was talking to me about the game, and he's so excited about the Dodgers winning the game. And he's telling me how somebody hit the home run and all that. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm on my phone. He's like, you are not even listening, right? So you would be able to tell if somebody is interested in what you're saying by how they are reacting. And sometimes there are just certain things that will just give that person away that this person is not interested in what you're saying. It could be in a presentation, right? You are giving a presentation. It could be in a class, you're teaching a class. I know who has zoned out, I know who hasn't. So, really learning how people, you know, convey their, it's either displeasure or excitement or like boredom. People, like, our brain is just wired in a way that if we are excited about something, we'll actually really show it. So also that's like non-verbal. Somebody doesn't have to tell you that they're bored by what you're saying, right? You will see it on their face. So if you have learned those people's skills and you know and understand that this is how people react, right? For example, you are giving a presentation about the goals that you want to fulfill as a company, or you want to meet as a company, and you can tell how the team is receiving it by even them not really saying something, right? How they receive the message, expressions on the face. It can be the frowns on the face. We have those experts that are able to, study people's behavior and really um, let you know that this person was saying something, but their eyes were twitching when they were saying something. We have experts, right? Criminal investigators, when they're trying to catch somebody who did something, right? I watch a lot of creepy murder and people killing people, spouses, crimes of passion, those kinds of shows. I'm weird. But you will see when they're doing their investigations, right? The investigators will really be talking about, we were talking to this person, and instead of acting a certain way, they've been accused of maybe, unaliving somebody. And when we talk to them, they are laughing. Instead of them acting a certain way, the way they're expressing their emotions, or even answering the questions that have been asked, could give you hints at whether that person is guilty or not. That's how important verbal and non-verbal communication is. So it's very, very important for you to be intentional about watching yourself, right? I'm always a victim of, I'm talking to somebody because my mind is always on the run, 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 run. You're waiting to respond. I think almost everybody is guilty of that. Somebody is saying something, your brain is going overdrive. You want to respond to what they are saying, but are you really listening to that person, right? So when we talk about good listening skills, okay, we'll be cut off here in like 10 minutes. I'll try to run through this. So good listening skills are very, very important for you to have. If you're going to influence people, if you're going to persuade people with the message, you have to make sure that you listen, because when you listen, you understand what people need, right? You understand what they need, and so you'll be able to tailor your communication or your message based on that particular thing. Emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? Anybody?
I think emotional intelligence is like being able to control your emotions, like not acting out of anger or or in any way just because your emotions are telling you to.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Anybody else? Thank you, Eric. What is emotional intelligence other than what Eric has already said? Buck, have an idea?
No.
Andrew?
I guess kind of just what I don't know who talked, but
What's that?
I was just saying it's like kind of the ability to recognize like your own emotions, I guess.
Okay, good. So, emotional intelligence really is everything else we have already talked about when talking about communication, is really understanding people, right? Understand people's behaviors, understand how to respond in certain situations is very, very important. And the role that emotional intelligence has in you improving your people skills is that it it will actually improve the way you communicate, because you understand people, you know how to restrain yourself, right? You have self-awareness. Anybody know what self-awareness is? Self-awareness is really already what has already been said. Being able to control your emotions, being able to restrain yourself, being able to understand yourself as an individual, right? You cannot manage people if you cannot manage yourself. So leadership starts with yourself, right? It starts with you understanding who you are. It starts from you understanding the importance of communication, how you're communicating with people. That is very, very important. And that's how emotional intelligence will play out in you being an excellent leader, an excellent manager, because you understand people, you understand when people are motivated, you understand when people are tired, you understand when people are frustrated, you understand when people are sad, you understand when people are going through stuff, right? You also understand, the most important thing is understanding self. You understand, oh, me as Andrew, I I have a short temper, right? My circuit is very short. And so there are certain things that I would like to, prevent myself from situations that I don't want to find myself in, because I know how I react to things. So emotional intelligence is really understanding self in order for you to understand other people, right? So that's pretty much what the role that emotional intelligence plays in you being people smart, right? If there's one thing that you have to learn when it comes to communication, is that you have to be people smart. You have to understand um, what exactly are these nonverbal communication skills. It runs deep and deep into, there are so many resources, YouTube videos that you can watch that will really make you understand people, right? You understand basic psychology of people. You understand yourself, right? How do you deal with stress? How do other people deal with stress in the workplace, right? So having that level of self-awareness and also being aware about other people will really set you up for success when it comes to your professional life, even in college, right? There are people that you are on projects with, there are people that you have to do stuff with. You have to understand that even in a team, there are team dynamics that are going on. There are people that are more inclined to lead. There are people that are more inclined to, they talk more than others, right? And if you're not a talker, that will drive you crazy. And so if you have emotional intelligence, you know that people are gifted differently, right? Just the way you're gifted differently, other people are also gifted differently, right? So if you want to be a leader, if you want to be a good manager, you have to learn these people skills. Okay, so I will go ahead and take any questions if there are any questions. Then we'll take an attendance, and then we'll have we'll just dismiss. We'll be dismissed. Anybody else? Anybody have a question? All right, so I will go ahead and take attendance. Yeri. Is Yeri here? Adam's here?
I'm here.
Okay. Bax here? Gas?
Here.
Is Gas here? Gas? Amaris?
Here.
Luke?
Here.
Hannah?
Here.
Here.
Isaiah? Abby?
Here.
Angelo? Angelo? Francisco?
Here.
Caleb? Bao? Dominic? Zoe? Lee? Zoe Lassen? Lee? Brendan? Brendan? Lens?
I'm here.
Okay. Alex?
Here.
Roger? Molino?
Here.
Alena? Alena? Grayson? Grayson? Vinso? Ramirez? Brady? Brady? Rhodes? Eric?
Here.
Said Lolly.
Here.
Jacob?
Here.
Aspen? Muhammad? Shelton, Andrew,
Here.
Gavin Tarka,
Here.
Sasha, not here, Sienna.
Here.
Okay, you guys are good to go. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Let me know if you need everything.